Having a secure attachment style is kind of what we're all aiming for. Whereas there are 3 insecure attachment styles, there is this one secure attachment style, which is the one we'll be talking about today. So if you have an insecure attachment style, this is what you should be aiming for. So here are some signs of having a secure attachment style. Sign number 1. If you're someone who has a secure attachment style, it means that you're very comfortable with intimacy. You don't overindulge in it, but you also feel completely fine being vulnerable in front of the people you love and in front of people in your life. People with this secure attachment style, they usually have a wide range of friends and family members that they're very close with and relationships that they have maintained over decades. So they have a strong social grounding and a lot of great friendships. And they don't feel uncomfortable in these settings. They don't feel uncomfortable with connection, and they don't feel uncomfortable getting close to people. Sign number 2. Someone with a secure attachment style, they trust people and they are also trustworthy. They have not experienced that much abandonment and rejection in their life, so in general, they have a positive view of other people and they trust them. Sometimes, of course, that can be to a fault, but more often than not, their red flag detectors are alert, so they won't end up engaging with people who do have very toxic relationship patterns. They would simply become aware and they would distance themselves from that type of behavior. So they really do have a trusting view of humans in general. And you can trust them as well. They are not engaging in manipulation. They're not trying to get something from you. They're satisfied within themselves and they don't need to use you as some form of supply. Sign number 3, they have a balanced sense of independence and interdependence in a relationship. They're completely fine with you needing alone time, just the same as they might need alone time sometimes. They're not going to see it as a threat to the relationship, just the same way as someone with an anxious attachment style would. And also, they're not overly obsessed with being by themselves the way the avoidant is. So they're kind of balancing the two, because in a healthy relationship, you need both. You need to be dependent on each other. And at the same time, you also need to be able to be your own person and do your own thing. Sign number 4. Someone with a secure attachment style, they probably know how to regulate their emotions. I'm not saying they're perfect, but they probably have somehow learned to regulate when they feel triggered. Because if you have a secure attachment style, it doesn't mean you don't have feelings. It doesn't mean you don't get upset. It doesn't mean you can't get a broken heart. You can have all the range of human emotions, but you're just better at regulating them and not acting out. And so these people have probably had stable childhoods, or they've had role models who could teach them how to manage regulating their emotions. Be mindful that a lot of adults who have worked through their insecure attachment styles, they end up being secure. So you don't have to just be born with a secure attachment style, otherwise you're screwed and it's just too bad. You have to live with this insecure, painful attachment style. No, you can work towards learning these things. It's teachable skills, regulating your emotions. So as a secure person, they'll do that before they'll burst out into flames or, leave the conversation or ignore you or do any of these other destructive behaviors. Sign number 5 of a secure attachment. As a person with secure attachment, you have a positive view of others, but you also have a positive view of yourself. So you do have self-esteem, but you don't disregard others either. So for example, the avoidant insecure attachment, the avoidant will often have a high regard, they'll see themselves in a positive view, at least on the surface level, and then they'll see others as less than, like they're ruining everything. And the anxious person will have the opposite. They'll see themselves as not so positive, and they'll see others and they'll idealize others. But as a secure person, you feel good within yourself, and you also have respect for others, and those things don't have to conflict. Doesn't that sound great? I mean, it does, right? So we can all work towards that. And that starts with working on self-esteem, because when you do have your self-esteem, then you don't need to criticize others so much. You don't need to bother so much with putting others down and making yourself seem better than them. And, all of these destructive behaviors that can come from having low self-esteem and really just not feeling happy or good within your own skin. Sign number 6. And I'm aware that for someone with an insecure attachment style, this is becoming super annoying. It's just like these secure, happy, perfect people. They're not perfect people, but I just have to give you an example of how it looks when everything is in balance. So that's what we're working towards, all of us, right? So as a securely attached person, you're good at communication. Surprise, surprise. Communication is the key to having healthy relationships. So you are good because you're good at regulating your emotions. You're also really good at just having calm, collected conversations with the people you love in your life, where you don't blame them or shame them or anything like that. You just share how you feel, and you try to work towards a constructive solution instead of completely self-destructing in the process and leaving the relationship, breaking up, saying a lot of things you don't mean. There is a whole list of bad things to do in that situation, but as a secure person, you won't do that. You'll be more balanced in your approach, and as a result, you'll probably find the solutions and maintain your relationships. Hence why people with this attachment style maintain their relationships for years and years and years. Sign number 7, emotional availability. So as a securely attached person, you are emotionally available to hear and accommodate other people's needs. You won't do it in a way where you abandon yourself, but you'll do it in a way that suits you, and at the same time you have a lot of compassion and extra energy to give. When you have a secure attachment style, you just have a higher level of energy because you're not so consumed with all these very downward spiral thoughts and self-criticism, and you don't have all these big fights that you need to recover from. So you have more excess energy, honestly. But it's important to say here that it is a balance, and for a securely attached person, it is a balance between setting boundaries. What can I help with? What can I not help with? And then at the same time being empathetic towards the people in your life and being there for their emotional needs or other needs. Sign number 8. As a person with a secure attachment style, you probably don't feel so much anxiety, whereas anxiety is an undercurrent in the other insecure attachment styles. This attachment style, you'll probably see less anxiety, which is great for you if you have this attachment style. And it's also why you probably have more energy for other things in your life, because your relationships are just a support system. They're just there for you to have fun and have a great time. They're not the thing that's pulling you down, that's weighing you down. You don't have to spend so much time in therapy or with a coach. You have more energy for other things, such as your career or whatever you're interested in doing, raising a family, whatever you wish to do in your life. So doesn't it sound good to have a secure attachment style? You can get there. If you don't have it already, you can get there. And like I said, it's not about perfection. People with a secure attachment style, they're not perfect. They feel all the feelings. If a person who has a secure attachment style gets broken up with, they're heartbroken. Okay? But instead of going on a destructive bender or sleep with 100 people or whatever destructive behaviors some of these other insecure attachment styles could lean towards, a secure person would lean on their friends. They would talk about it. They would get filled up by the emotional intimacy they have with the people in their huge network, or at least their really meaningful network of friends and family, and they would slowly overcome these feelings. So they have feelings, they can get hurt. It's not a perfect life for someone with a secure attachment style, but it is certainly a lot easier, and there are less bumps on the road. If you have an insecure attachment style and you want to work towards becoming securely attached, you can reach out to me. I work with a lot of people like you. You can find the link down here in the description. And if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.